Hi everyone, welcome or welcome back to my channel. If you're new here, my name's Kim and today we're doing my final book support group, round 14, TBR. So what is Final Book Support Group? Final Book Support Group is a support group created by Steph over at Steph Labs. I will leave a link to her channel and the announcement video down below. Basically, it's a readathon to help us pick up those series, continue with those series and finalise those series. Get those series off of our TBRs. And I love this readathon because it really helps me get through those series that I've completely forgotten about. And the series that I'm struggling to continue with because there's so many books in so little time. But let's go through what I'm reading this time. So Steph, once again, has created a bingo board for us. So let's go through that bingo board and find out what book I'm reading for each of these prompts. So the first little circle on here is new release. For this, it just means a book that was released in this year. So this book is book 3 that's been released in this world, but it's technically the prequel, but it is still in the same world. I'll be picking up Queen Bee. The next little circle on here is to share your TBR on socials. So obviously I'm sharing it here with you guys once again. And I will share it onto my Instagram, I will share it on the Discord, I will share it on my X. I will share it everywhere that I can. And I know the light keeps changing, that's because the sun keeps going behind clouds, so I'm sorry. But that's a pretty easy one to tick off. The next one on here is continuation station. So continuation station means those books in the middle of series that you're in the middle of. Not the first book, not the last book, but a middle one in the series. So I've decided to pick up, take a hint, Danny Brown. I like to get a life Glory Brown, so I thought why not keep going with this series and pick up the second one. Onto the second row of the board, and the first one here is self-care. This literally means anything that is self-care to you. You can treat yourself to a bubble bath, you can treat yourself to a face mask, even a piece of cake. Anything that is self-care to you counts. The centre circle on here is what we're all here for eventually, and that is final book. So for this, I've decided to pick up Return of the King, which is a Lord of the Rings book. It's the last one in the trilogy. So I'm hoping I'm going to like this one better than the last one. I really enjoyed Fellowship of the Ring. Didn't quite get along with The Two Towers, but I'm hoping that I'm going to like Return of the King. The next little circle on here is TBR Vet, which means a book that's been on your TBR for quite a while. For me, I've decided to pick up one that has been on my shelves quite a long time. I picked up book 3 in this series last Final Book Support Group, so I'm going to pick up this one, which is a final book as well. It is Rebel by Marie Lu. On to the bottom line here, and the first one is to read a graphic novel, a manga, or a short story, novella, if you will. So for this one, I've decided to pick up a series that I pick up every single Final Book Support Group, and that is, of course, Saga Volume 8. I think this one's gonna hurt. Centre bottom is one that I'm glad that she's put on here. It is Subscription Box Book. I have a lot of subscription box books up on my shelves, and I kind of start series and then don't continue. So for this, I've decided to pick up, it's another final book, Atlas Complex. Look at me go with all these final books. And then we get to the last one. The last one on here is Poll Pick. So once again, I popped a poll over on the Discord, and the Discord definitely helped me out with this one. So this time I decided to put on 5 books instead of my usual 4, just because I couldn't decide what to put on there. So let's go through some of them. Once again, I used emojis. So for the emojis, I used the blood drop emoji for Blood of Elves. I used the halo emoji for First Strike. I used the game controller emoji for Twisted Games. I used the devil emoji for Before the Devil Breaks You. And lastly, I used the sword for A Person. This maybe didn't go the way that I wanted it to, but there you go. So in 4th place, you'll see why in a moment, was the game controller emoji, which means Twisted Games, and it got 4 votes. In third place with 5 votes was the continuation of the Halo series with First Strike. Joint second with 6 votes was the blood drop emoji and the devil emoji, so Before the Devil Breaks You and Blood of Elves. And so that means the winner was the sword emoji with 8 votes, which means this month I will be picking up a person. So that is it. That is everything that I will be reading for the Final Book support group. I hope to get to all of these. Once again, we're in Aurelium this month, so I'm hoping I can get quite a lot of these ticked off. I have connected some of these with my Aurelium TBR, so hopefully I can get most of them read, if not all of them, and pick up some final books and get them off my list. So yeah, that is my Final Book support group TBR. What do you reckon? Come and talk to me down below. As always, down in my description box you can find a link to all of my socials. Come give me a follow on Goodreads on Instagram and on X. You can like this video, you can comment, and you can subscribe if you want to. Want to let me know you're here without actually talking to me? Leave me that sword emoji, and I'll see you next time. Toodles.